heard it's gotten a lot nicer. They're on the Bitcoin wagon. They locked up all their criminals. A lot of people like to say he's a fascist dictator, but if you want to call cleaning up your country and getting rid of corruption and getting rid of all the criminals fascism, then I'm down for fascism. Alright, let's see here. Alright, we're good. Alright, we're on YouTube as well. Can a toxic, stressful living condition keep someone trapped in fast oxidation? Yeah, for sure. More safe in Costa Rica and America, I say. Yeah. I imagine there's good and bad parts. Like, it's probably more safe than Stockton here in California. But that's not saying much. But yeah, I imagine it's more safe than Stockton. Here, there's a lot of variance. Even in America, there's drastic differences in cities and things like that, you know. Let's see here. Alright, we're live on the YouTube too. I have tried the LifeWave patches. Me personally, I don't notice a huge difference from them. It seems to be somewhat variable. Maybe like half of people that try them notice a huge difference, and they absolutely swear by the LifeWave patches. Me personally, I haven't really noticed much of a difference. I notice a more drastic difference from some of the supplements. Like for me, the NAK up is more powerful than the LifeWave patches. Red meat might be more powerful than the Life Patches. I'd say garlic and garlic powder is more powerful than the patches for me. So it just depends. I'm not sure what it is in the LifeWave patches that some people seem to need, but for me personally, it doesn't seem to provide that much of a benefit. Thank you for the question, though. I got my permanent retainer removed, and I feel an immediate change in energy. It's almost like if it was holding me back. Does that make sense? Any thoughts on that? Yeah, I mean, anytime you have metal in the body, it is going to create some problems, no matter what, with your energy meridians and things like that. I don't know what kind of metal it was. There could be some toxicity from the metals as well if they put things like nickel in it or aluminum. I imagine they're more careful, especially with that sort of stuff nowadays, so I imagine it was like stainless steel or something. But yeah, it can mess with your energy meridians for sure. But it sounds like it's a positive that you... Yeah, nickel may... Yeah, nickel may have been. But that's good that you notice a benefit from getting it removed. For sure. That's good to hear, actually. It's from a decade ago. So you had it for a decade, or you're saying you got it removed? Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, so you had it for a decade. So the LifeWave patches do increase that copper peptide, but Lewis has experimented more with the peptides than me personally, yeah. So he's experimented with taking the it's the GHK without copper attached, so it becomes more of a copper binding agent. What would be a reason I can't tolerate coffee enemas? Well, the first thing to realize is that it's not the coffee enema, it's you. Okay, so a lot of times people blame things like coffee enemas, but it's them. I mean, there could be a lot of different reasons. It could be parasites that are dying off from the coffee enemas. It could be it's triggering too much detox from the liver. It could just be you're too weak, like your electrolytes are too low, you're sodium potassium especially, and so it just gets draining you too much. But I would try to find your threshold with the coffee enemas. So, we recommend about 2 cups of water, about 3 tablespoons of grounds, okay? But you can start with much less. So I would try to find your threshold. You can start with a teaspoon of grounds, okay? So start with a teaspoon of coffee, and then work your way up to do 2 teaspoons, then do a tablespoon, and then do 2 tablespoons, and then do 3 tablespoons if you want eventually. But I would just try to find your threshold. But it's hard to say the specific reason why you can't tolerate them. It could be multiple reasons. Probably parasites, it could be liver detoxing too much, and it could be it's just dropping your electrolytes too much. I've also had a low-grade virus that never really got crazy for about a month. Is that typical retracing? Yeah, that can definitely happen. Be sure you're using the sauna. If you know you have a virus, the sauna is the most powerful thing, especially the near-infrared sauna. The peptides are really interesting. It's quite a bit more powerful than the steam. The steam sauna is still good, but the near infrared is quite a bit stronger. But the near infrared is quite strong. So like we have people back off on the near infrared a lot because it's so strong. It could trigger detox heavy. And we see it on the hair test, right? People start the near infrared sauna and bam, the levels of heavy metals will shoot up immediately from using the sauna. I need some more. Let's see here. Roll image. What's up? Got any questions? My nails are much stronger and firmer and whiter. Why is that? Because you're getting healthier, dude. Don't overcomplicate it. You're getting healthier. You have more minerals in your body. Your nails are made out of minerals. Your nails are a tissue. As you heal your tissues, they'll get stronger and firmer. If it's well insulated, because no matter what, you need to get it hot enough to where you sweat, basically. Okay. And if you can get the sauna hot enough where you can sweat, then 2 lights is pretty good because you're getting the red light and then you're still sweating. But if you're just gonna do a red light sauna where you're only using that as the heat source, you need like 3 or 4 to heat up the sauna enough to get a sweat on. So short answer is that 2 is enough if you get the sauna hot enough. I cut my coffee enemas down to have more energy and my body feels better. Is it possible that enemies are sapping energy due to detox? Yeah, it's possible, especially if you're in slow oxidation, that doing more than one coffee enema was just dropping your electrolytes too low. Yeah, for sure. This is also the case with like people in 4 lows. But most people, I would say, only need 1 a day anyway. Yeah, because what can happen is it's kind of like the sauna. If you have really low sodium potassium, especially, it just seems to draw some electrolytes out of your body, a little bit of sodium potassium. So a good way to replenish your electrolytes is number 1, just making sure you're eating enough sea salt. You can be quite liberal with sea salt on your food. Carrot juice, actually. I've reintroduced carrot juice into my diet. Carrot juice has a lot of potassium as well. A lot of electrolytes. Carrot juice is good. You can just do store-bought carrot juice. Obviously fresh is better, but... Dr. Sue. Are you an actual doctor? Or do you just play one on Instagram? I'm not sure what you mean by let it go. By let it go, do you mean just not doing any zinc or limb coming? Been in 4 lows for 6 months, but last test had highest calcium at 23. Yeah, if your calcium's getting higher and higher, that's definitely a good sign. Yeah, typically, the 2 most important things to start raising once you're in 4 lows is that calcium, magnesium. Okay, yeah. So you were just told not to take the supplements to move the ratio. I mean, that's an option as well. Personally, as a practitioner, I'd rather someone take them, just because it's providing more nutrients. But they are less important if your ratio is exactly 2.5. You definitely need them less, right? But I don't know if I would recommend just not taking them. If your ratio is 2.5, I'd probably rather you take like 1 zinc or something. Yeah, well, hopefully your magnesium through. Probably integrating it with AI. So like feeding AI all the information on mineral balancing, and then having that help guide people's programs where they have like an app. So like where everyone has like their own, like every client has their own mineral balancing app, and then like if you're getting detox symptoms or something like that, you feed it into the AI and it can help you. It can help guide you what to do next. It's probably a big frontier. Peptides might be a big frontier for mineral balancing. I'm not sure which peptides, or maybe something to help pull copper out of people, like more specifically targeted chelators. Hard to say. Is it getting more popular? Yes. Fast? No. Nothing happens that fast. I mean, mineral balancing has been around for 50 years? 40 years? See, Dr. X started his work at least it was like the 80s, so it's been around for at least 40 years, and it's still not that popular, so these things take time. Four loads is definitely more common on hair tests than they used to be. Most people have a low NAK ratio. A lot of slow oxidation. Let's see if I can go back, see if we have any questions here. Yeah, I still go through like eliminations. I was eliminating quite a bit of manganese last test. My NAK ratio, my NAK ratio stays within a pretty good range. I would say that as people get healthier, the NAK ratio tends to do less wild swings. I would say generally, like, once people get a certain point, the NAK ratio doesn't usually go above, like, 4 or below, like, 1.5. Unless they're eliminating toxic potassium. Do you think zeolite products are bad? I don't know. Matthew Kaufman uses them quite a bit. Apparently he likes a brand of zeolite where somehow they're able to take out the aluminum. He makes good progress on his tests. He seems to be doing good. So I don't think they're bad. At this time, I tend to prefer Pectosol. So Pectosol and zeolite are pretty similar products. And with Pectosol, it's a little bit more natural. I believe it's cheaper. I understand the dosaging more. It's a little more gentle. I know that with the Pectosol, there's a less likelihood of like contamination from heavy metals compared to zeolite. And the pectosol seems to be almost as powerful as the zeolite. And if you need a little bit more power from the pectosol, you can just take more. You can double up the dosage or whatever. So at this time, I prefer pectosol over zeolite. But some people are getting good results with the zeolite. So I don't have all the answers. No one does. Shoot, I need to pop my neck. We gotta do a little neck pop action sometimes. Very interesting. Lazy Easy Grill. What's up? Do you have any questions? You have any questions about hair mineral analysis, mineral balancing? Yeah, it's normal. Usually one side is tighter than the other. So for me, it goes through shifts. When I first started my program, for instance, on my skull, I could only get the right side of my skull to pop, and then eventually it stopped on my right side, and then it switched to my left side that would pop. Yep, and it's okay. It's nothing to be worried about. That just means one side needs to be cracked more than the other. Eventually, the other side will loosen up too. Yeah, could be a sign of detox. Could be also. I would say it's more likely a sign of nervous system imbalance, and you're getting the tightness out of an out of control impulse from your nervous system, whether it's stress related or whatever. Healthy Coach, what's up? You got any questions? You want to ask me about mineral balancing? Ja? Let's see here. Hey, what's up? Do you do mineral balancing? You have any questions? But yeah, I would say that the tight neck and traps, I mean, they could be detox related, but it's more related to probably nervous system tension. I think you're in fast oxidation, aren't you, Alex? So I think that's probably more associated with fast oxidation. You know, like a nervous system impulse, like the. Yeah, you do? Well, do you have any questions? Is it normal to have a hard time tolerating valence supplements in the beginning? NAKF sometimes makes you feel manic or hyperactive right after. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're more powerful. So anything that the endomit ones are going to do, the valence ones will do in a more extreme way. If you have trouble tolerating them, well, number one, it could be that something shifted. You know, I don't know when your last hair test was, but they have to be aware that the valence supplements do shift things faster. So your oxidation rate and your NAK ratio will flip faster on the valence supplements, so something to be aware of. If it's not the case that you've flipped, it's just a matter of being able to handle them. You can always, they're easy to pop open and you can dump out half. Or even less. You could take a quarter of one. Or a third or whatever. But yeah, they're quite powerful. They're very powerful, but I believe that, actually. Chinese medicine, the next in traps are connected to the gallbladder. That's interesting. Well, one thing you could try is, have you tried the gallbladder flush? You should try the liver flush / gallbladder flush. It's crazy. People eliminate so many gallbladder stones on them. It's insane. I might have sent you the link to it. There's this. If you email Clark, or you might be one of the people I've already emailed the gallbladder flush to. But if you're worried about your gallbladder, I would do the gallbladder flush. It's a pain in the butt, and I only recommend it like once every 6 months. But they help some people a lot. Yeah, Alex, if you just go I think about if you just go Dr. Wilson, you might be able to just find it if you do a Google search. Let's see here. He did, okay. Yeah. Yeah, do the gallbladder flush. It's a pain in the butt. It's like a 3-day thing. It's a whole thing. You have to drink Epsom salts every day for 3 days, and then you drink a bunch of olive oil. It's a pain in the butt, but it helps some people a lot. Yeah, it's on the Detox Protocols article, right? I have a calcium of 9, but was taking vitamin A, cod liver oil was pleasant. Should I stop the vitamin A? Does it lower calcium? I don't think that vitamin A really affects your calcium that much. I do prefer just fish oil over cod liver oil. You can get vitamin A toxicity, but generally you have to be taking a lot to get vitamin A toxicity. It's not something that I'm usually worried about. I wouldn't do over 20,000 units a day of vitamin A. And that's even for acute infections. I generally don't even I don't recommend more than if you're going to take vitamin A by itself, I would recommend more than 10,000 a day unless you have an acute infection. Because it can build up in the liver. But I wouldn't worry about it really affecting calcium that much. You're doing 10,000? Yeah, that's fine. You can do 10,000, I would say. The most powerful way to increase, let's see, calcium of 9. Well, I would have to see your test. But if you have a calcium of 9, you could be in fast oxidation. Are you in fast oxidation? Do you have a high sodium potassium? If you're in fast oxidation, the most powerful way to increase your calcium would be to slow your oxidation rate, which would be to be taking certain B vitamins and eating plenty of fat. What's up, Irali47? Got any questions? Yeah, you're fast. Fast 4. So it's a TEI one. It's with TEI. Keep in mind, we don't recommend the TEI programs. The tests are okay because the lab seems to be, they don't use solvents at the lab, but I don't like the programs. The programs we set up are much more powerful and much more. They're set up better. They make more sense. Well, just taking magnesium and calcium. Yeah, taking magnesium and calcium supplementation are not that correlated with fast or slow oxidation. There is some correlation, but it's not as simple as like you just take enough calcium magnesium to raise your calcium magnesium. You have to, you have to get yourself out of fast oxidation, which also means taking certain B vitamins and eating enough fat along with the calcium and magnesium. Yeah, so the B ones. Okay, hold on one second. I'm doing too many things at once. Oh, here we go. What are the B's? All the ones that slow you down. So we can take. Let's see here. It also depends upon your NAK ratio a little bit. German New Medicine. I don't know what German New Medicine is. One thing you have to realize is that there's so many new modalities that it's hard to keep up with. I mean, I can tell you, Healthy Coach, I can tell you which one you should take if you have, what's your NAK ratio? I mean, you could just order the one from Endomet, Stress Pack, or SPF formula. What's up, Beverly? What's up, Sydney? You guys have any questions? All right, I'm going to go to the YouTube now and see what the YouTube here. Well, I want to ask about glycogen storage disease. Can this be cured by mineral balancing program? I mean, we have lots of success with all different sorts of things. I personally have never treated someone with glycogen storage disease, but I'm sure it would be helped. Your body needs copper. If you have glycogen problems, there's probably a copper imbalance. How do you get out of 4 lows if Paramin makes your adrenals crash due to lowering NAK ratio? Paramin does not lower your NAK ratio, nor does it crash your adrenals. How long does it take for slow ox to accelerate the oxidation? It starts doing it immediately, but it depends about how long you've been on the program, how diligent you are about it, how many slow ox you're taking, how extreme your oxidation rate is. Dr. Britt said the liver flush releases piles and not stone. What do you think about this? Sounds like semantics to me. Does vitamin E help arthritis? Yeah, vitamin E can help arthritis. The near-infrared sauna is low EMF, so I wouldn't worry too much about EMFs from a near-infrared sauna. If you just use the standard 250-watt light bulbs, generally there's not a lot of EMF sensitivity. What's the most important ratio? The most important ratio is sodium to potassium. The second most important ratio is probably calcium divided by potassium. Is the 4 lows pattern good after 4 tests? Yes. This is deep. Yes, it is. True North. So True North asks, is the 4 lows pattern good after about 4 tests? Is this deep healing? Yes. On a mineral balancing program, most people will retrace into 4 lows at some point, and that's actually a good sign. and it's a sign of healing. Yeah, it is awesome. You're welcome, True North. Okay. Your NAK ratio is 8, healthy coach? Okay. So then, you can take a look at the ingredients in Stress Pack, and you can either order some of those yourself and try to mimic it, or you can just order it from Endomit. If I were you, I would just order a Stress Pack from Endomit because they're everything in one. Yeah, either way, as long as it's above 2.5. You can try to mimic Stress Pack with some of the B vitamins like B1, B6. If I were you, I would just get the ones from Endomit because it's everything in one place and it's cheap anyway, right? So the 2 most important supplements for you then would be zinc. Healthy coach, zinc. You could do zinc like 111 or something, 112. And then it would be 111 of Stress Pack. Those are the 2 most important supplements for you. Yeah, we help people that vape. Vaping's not that big of a deal anyway. It's better that you don't vape, but it's not as bad as other things. Vaping's better than smoking marijuana, for example. No matter what they tell you. Okay, so German New Medicine is saying emotional or psychological traumas are the main causes of disease. I don't know if they're the main cause of disease, right? So if you have a perfectly fed and healthy and minerally balanced person, it's much more difficult to inflict trauma upon them because their bodies are much more resilient. Okay? So it's both. People get too caught up in trying to blame one or the other. Each situation is different. For some people, the biggest thing holding them back is a psychological trauma because maybe something really, really bad happened to them. Okay? But are psychological traumas the worst thing to happen to most people? I would say no. I would say the biggest thing that holds people back is their toxicities and their deficiencies. And the nice thing is that a mineral balancing program, it doesn't matter, okay? Because in a mineral balancing program, both will be healed. In a mineral balancing program, we don't focus on the psychological traumas or the physical traumas, okay? By doing the program and how comprehensive it is, it'll heal both in time, okay? Because we have methods to deal with psychological traumas as well. But for some people, yes, psychological traumas are very important. And to a certain extent, you are right. Everyone is affected by psychological traumas. Okay? Modern life is a psychological trauma. Okay? So there is some truth to that. But to say that everything and the cause of disease is trauma, that's a stretch. There's nuance to everything. Okay? And usually the truth is in between. Yeah, I would say number 1 is to get off the cannabis. The upper limit of zinc is like 222. So for you, if your ratio is 5, I would do like 112 of either the Endomit or the valence zinc. The valence zinc is better. It's more powerful. It's more effective. Valence doesn't have a stress pack right now. So I hope that answers your question about the German medicine and traumas. Our most powerful technique to heal traumas is the pulling down exercise. Okay, it's very effective for getting rid of traumas. Yeah, 112. So that'd be like 1 zinc in the morning, 1 zinc in the afternoon, 2 at night. How long does it get rid of the amigos? Well, people will get rid of layers of amigos years into the program. I still eliminate amigos sometimes. I've been on the program for 10 years, so it depends. It's a journey. There is no destination. So you'll eliminate amigos for decades. But that's not to say that you won't feel better and better and better. But that's just what deep healing is. Is a 4 lows pattern with a lower NAK ratio than ideal worse than a 4 lows with a high NAK ratio? Yes. Yes, it is. Zalman asked that, and yes, Zalman, if it's a low NAK ratio along with 4 lows, that is worse. It is better to have a high NAK ratio with 4 lows. Just in general, a high NAK ratio is better than a low NAK ratio. How much milligram is one zinc? It's 22.2. It's about 22 milligrams. Are you dumping metals at a lower rate than used to because you got rid of most of them? Maybe. I meant to deliver a detox flash out the bile, not the stones, because stones never float. Well, if you felt horrible with a high NAK ratio, it depends. Like, your NAK ratio is probably very high. If you felt horrible with a high NAK ratio, you probably had was it really high? Because I mean, a really high, like an NAK ratio of like 8 or 10 can feel worse than an NAK ratio of 2. So there is some nuance to it. Because high can mean really high or it can mean a little high. So that's an important distinction with a high NAK ratio. But if they were both equal, like an NAK ratio of 3 is better than an NAK ratio of 2. But an NAK ratio of 2 is better than an NAK ratio of like 7. Does that make sense? My first NAK was 3.67. Okay. If you have a stubborn NAK ratio and you're taking the Endomit supplements, you should switch to the Valence supplements. They're much more effective at flipping ratios. So if you're Valence ones, you might want to work with a practitioner or just be cognizant of the fact that they are more powerful and they will flip your test faster. So you should probably be doing more often retesting if you're taking Valence supplements. What are your thoughts about the stages of developing that takes long years and years, as Dr. Wilson mentioned in his website? There's definitely a lot of truth to it. I don't know how true the more esoteric aspect of what you're talking about is true. But, we see, people are on the program for 10, 15 years and they still continue to eliminate metals. I heard manganese causes antisocial behavior. My last test shows it's super high. Well, it's good that it's coming out. Was that so that was a retest, and you're on a mineral balancing program? But that's a good thing that it's coming out. But yeah, it can definitely cause antisocial behavior. Manganese almost causes someone to like not be there. If that makes sense. Like you're there, but you're not there. I do recommend Valence zinc over Endomit Lab zinc, yes. Yeah, manganese, it almost reminds me of it's like an antidepressant. So it kind of creates like a wall, a psychological wall. You feel spaced out, not interested in others? Yeah, that's typical. Yeah, manganese is selfish. Well, Captain Coin, some people just respond that way to a program. Some people just they flip back and forth faster than others. It's okay. It's just how it goes with some people. It will stabilize more in time, or maybe it might not stabilize for years. It's okay. Doesn't mean you're not moving forward. What is the worst metal to dump? What is the worst metal to dump? People go through some rough copper dumps. I would say copper, cadmium, maybe lead. The worst I've seen in people is probably copper. I don't know if it's because people dump a lot of copper at once. It's not necessarily that copper is like more toxic than cadmium. It might be just that like the body can dump a lot more copper at once when it wants to. Probably copper. The worst dumps I've seen, like how it affects people actually, probably copper. Like dumping the other metals can have, be pretty rough. Like cadmium and stuff, but I would say from what I've seen, the worst metal to dump is copper. Harry my dude, when Lambo? The Lambo is here, baby. It's happening. It's starting to rain. This is fun though. We're getting a lot of questions. Are you a fan of Bitcoin? Let's see. I'll be right back, you guys. I need more water. And I'll vacuum. When do most people get out of burnout? I'm at 7 months and can taste freedom. Well, that's actually lucky that you can taste freedom at 7 months. It takes some people years. And the answer, like, when do most people get out of burnout? That's completely arbitrary. It depends, like how toxic are you? How far in burnout are you? How old are you? If you're 70 years old, deep in 4 lows, it's going to be a rough time. If you're 23 years old and you're doing the program good and taking like valent supplements, man, you can get out of burnout pretty quick. Hi Luke, I'm glad I caught one of you live. When I've been doing coffee enemas, I'm always exerting white lumps from the kidneys and peeing constantly. It's been like this for the last 2 years. I don't know if they're white lumps from the kidneys. Let's see. How do you know that the white lumps are from the kidneys? It could be a parasite. So my question to you, David, is how do you know that they're from the kidneys? Susan say, can NAK supplement help water retention and sodium sensitivity? We're talking about NAK up? Yeah. It could definitely help that, especially if you have a low NAK ratio. Yeah, cadmium skin rashes can be intense. People often get skin rashes dumping cadmium. But yeah, David, it almost sounds to me like those are parasites. If they are from the kidneys, you could try taking extra renamide. You could do renamide like 222. I think Valence is coming out with a kidney supplement as well. I'm running out of battery here. How much battery do I have? Probably got 10 more minutes here. Yeah, if you're getting bad skin rashes, you could try taking Pectisol in between meals. That might help with the skin rashes. Also, different ointments on the skin, like zinc oxide. Does it take years for a huge copper dump? Well, chronic marijuana use doesn't necessarily cause copper imbalance. Marijuana causes more of like cadmium and things like that, which can mask a copper imbalance. But yeah, it could take years for a huge copper dump. How do you explain when some of the supplements are in synthetic form? What do you mean? I'm talking about like the supplement. The supplements are all synthetic. They're made in a factory. If that's what you mean. But just because they're synthetic doesn't mean they're not effective. We get excellent results with them regardless. Yeah, that's one reason why I recommend the valence supplements in most cases. The forms are better. Are you a fan of Bitcoin? No. I used to be, but you're kind of late to Bitcoin. If entire countries are buying something, you're late to it. I like crypto, but I don't personally own any Bitcoin. The Zinc Supremist. What are the supplements made from? Like, how is calcium made? Well, it depends what form of calcium you're talking about. Can I use a thyroid supplement to help with very slow oxidation? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we don't recommend the thyroid supplement if you're in fast oxidation. But yeah, thyroid and adrenal glandulars are something that we definitely use for slow oxidizers. But yeah, not for fast oxidation. I don't specifically know where the calcium comes from for the supplements. I imagine it depends on the form of the calcium. They probably use it from, I imagine some of it's from livestock. And then they just, they purify it. What is the Valence company? You can just search it on Google. It's just Valence Nutraceuticals. You can send me a private message too, and I can send you a link to them or whatever. You can PM me. Just send me a message on Instagram. What causes a cadmium dump? I have a history of heavy marijuana usage, but it stays poor limonare and I don't cadmium. Well, generally, cadmium is one of the last things to come out. Okay, so generally, you're gonna eliminate aluminum first. You're gonna eliminate amigos first: iron, copper, manganese. So generally, it's gonna take a few years to eliminate cadmium, even if you were a chronic marijuana user. Let's see. What are symptoms of an aluminum detox reaction? Any specifically from that metal? Yeah, I would say the biggest one is fatigue, brain fog. The biggest one's brain fog from aluminum. Aluminum tends to have an affinity for the brain. That's why most people, what we describe as Alzheimer's, is actually aluminum toxicity. So I would say the biggest symptom is brain fog. Is there a supplement for adrenal gland in valence to use instead of endodrin? No. They do not have an endodrin yet. Eggers asks, what do you think of MK4? It's been superb for fixing my sleep cycle on the program. MK4, is that a peptide? What is MK4? So NAK up is for those with a low NAK. One with a high would not take. Yes. If you have a high NAK up ratio like you do, so if yours is 5, anything above 2.5 you can take zinc. So if it's low, it's either limb coming or NAK up, and if it's high, it's zinc. Okay, MK4. What is MK4? It's a form of K2. Yeah, I mean, it should be fine. Vitamin K is going to be, it's a vitamin, it's pretty low toxicity. And if it's something that's really helped you, I think that's fine. Is Valence planning to make a stress pack? Yes. Probably not anytime soon. I would guess the soonest they have a stress pack is like 6 months. One synthetic and one isn't. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, True North, I think it's fine. Something with like vitamin K, it's low toxicity, it's natural, I think it's fine. Would you recommend adrenal cocktails with Celtic sea salt and some potassium if in 4 lows? I don't know what you're referring to. I mean, I like sea salt. And potassium's good to take too. You can take potassium and sea salt. I don't know what you mean by the adrenal cocktail though. The reason the vitamin K is added to the CalMag is because it helps calcium absorption. So vitamin K is synergistic with calcium. Same with boron. So, it helps uptake and it helps the body metabolize calcium. I do not want to buy peach fuzz. However, I don't want to affect my hormone levels. Any thoughts? I don't think it's just topical. I don't think it'll affect your hormone levels too much. It should be okay. What's up, Bicle17? You have any questions? Do you think the parasites can be coming from the brain? I feel light pressure on there at times when I'm detoxing through pee. It could be. It's not as likely. Usually parasites are going to be in the gut. The best supplement for parasites is BioFlow from Valence. No, I don't really recommend parasite cleanses. If you're taking the bile flow, you don't need a parasite cleanse. The bile flow, honestly, it's more powerful than like 90% of parasite cleanses anyway. Why does my brain feel inflamed all the time? Metals? Could be. You know, I'm not your practitioner. I don't really know your history or like your tests or things like that or where you're moving. So it's hard to say. It's just a mixture of sodium, potassium, and vitamin C. Yeah, it might be okay. So the vitamin C is a little variable. Vitamin C is more important if you have a low NAK ratio. Vitamin C is also pretty yin. It's also a mild chelator. So, and it depends how much you're taking. Like, in most cases, I don't really like mega dosing vitamin C. That's especially true if you have a high NAK ratio. So, if you have a high NAK ratio above 2.5, I'd probably recommend against the adrenal cocktail. But if your NAK ratio is low and it's only a moderate amount of vitamin C, it's probably okay. Your NAK ratio is 2? Yeah, it's probably okay. I would take I don't know, I still wouldn't necessarily recommend a ton of vitamin C. But you could probably adjust it, you know. I don't know how much vitamin C is supposed to be in the protocol though. But in general, I don't like mega dosing, you know. Okay. Yeah, it's only 60s on non-high dose. I think it's probably okay then. Have you tried it? What's up, Ethereal Beauty? Are you an AI bot? Correct, healthy coach. Yes, that'll be a total of 100 milligrams. Well, it'd be a little less than 100 milligrams, but yeah, it'd be 22, 44, 88. No, it would be 100. When are we getting a meme coin? Yeah, we need a what are the pigs that Larry sees? Oh. What is it? We can make a meme coin based off of the Jav. Healthy coach who taught you. You probably were taught wrong. You need to be careful. Some people will teach you wrong. Some people's protocols, they don't work or they make people worse. You probably did a TEI. Were you taught by a TEI practitioner? We don't do that around here. We're on another level. I have sheet sears. Yes. High zinc, no copper. We only give copper with a low NAK ratio. Copper tends to raise the NAK ratio. I have seizures once in a blue moon, twice a year on average. Maybe this is parasites. Activity based on that. I definitely want to try yourself. Yeah, so David, if you're having trouble with the new Paramin is worse, unfortunately. What you can do, though, if you still have some, is chew them up. That helps a lot. Or you don't have to chew them up. You can like grind them up with a mortar and a pestle, and then like sprinkle them in some food or something like that. But the new Paramint is hard to digest, and if you're having trouble processing and actually like absorbing the new Paramint, just eat it. Anyway, you can like crush it into a powder and take it. That's another thing you could do is you could crush it up and then put it in capsules yourself, and then take the capsules as well. But that's a trick with the Paramint. What's the difference with TEI? Do they not follow Dr. X ratios? Yeah, they interpret the hair test differently. So like the lab is still accurate, so like you can still see the NAK ratio, oxidation rate, and things like that, but the way that they use them is different. And in my opinion, some of the TEI protocols are actually dangerous. Like for example, they will give B vitamins to a person with 4 lows. Here, let's see if I can get a... 1 second here. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Kendra Perry herself, but she's probably TEI. All right, guys. Thank you for all the questions. I'm running out of battery, though. I'm going to try to do these every Monday, okay? And I'll announce it ahead of time. I'll try to announce it ahead of time next time, but thank you for all the questions. It is more Paulette. Yes, and if you want to discover more Healthy Coach, just go to our YouTube channel. Okay, so and it's in the just Life Labs HTMA. If you go to the link tree on the Instagram, you go to our YouTube as well. Also, there's good videos on the Instagram as well. All right, kisses, bye. Yeah, David, you can send me your test results. Just send them to my Life Labs email.